Hello everybody, it's Hanier, engineer, MBA, and investor. In today's video, I want to talk about CRISPR, how CRISPR can eliminate world hunger by 2030. I want to talk about this research paper. I want to dive deep into it, and I want to give you guys my insight as to what my mission is with this channel, with my philosophy about CRISPR, about technologies that can move humanity forward. Now, before we do that, before we get into today's video, you guys know the algorithms, how they work. Like this video, smash that like button, destroy that like button. If you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Really does help the channel. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Every single subscriber, every single like, every single share, and every single notification bell that is hit and comments in the section below helps this channel, and it really does forward our mission in this channel. Talking about mission, right? Talking about mission. World hunger, guys, is a serious topic. I've addressed that early on in our channel. And in fact, I think it was one of our first videos, right? I strongly believe that we as in humanity, as we move forward, we have these beautiful companies, beautiful technologies. It just doesn't make sense. We have beautiful and great gadgets, technology gadgets, tech gadgets, beautiful cars with Tesla vehicles on the road. We have the iPhones, we have the MacBooks of the world, we have all sorts of technologies, right? And when it comes to world hunger, when it comes to poverty, it looks like we're sort of, putting that in the back seat. Well, this channel changes that, right? And I strongly believe that CRISPR has a technology in genomics. They can advance forward humanity. And when I mean advancing forward, I mean eliminating world hunger, okay? Diseases, eliminating and eradicating human diseases, animal diseases, livestock, all sorts of diseases, but also world hunger, right? And this paper here was published just recently, and its title has CRISPR-based crop improvement, a way forward to achieve zero hunger. It was published in the American Chemical Society, I think, Agriculture and Food Chemistry journal. And there are quite a few authors here, a few individuals from China, but some Pakistanis here as well, such as Shakil Ahmad. So quite a few authors that sort of contributed to this paper. But really, I don't want to go all the way, diving into every single sentence. This paper, there's like 17 pages in this research paper. It's going to take us like 10 videos to do that. So I definitely will not do that. So I will link the paper below. But we will go over the abstract and several figures and several sentences in this paper. So zero hunger is sustainable development goals set by United Nations in 2015 to achieve global security by 2030. The current harvest crops is inefficient. Feeding the world population and meeting goal of zero hunger by 2030 will require larger and more consistent crop production. Basically, right, the way we are heading with the current technologies, with what we have on the fields, this will not mean United Nations goal. This will not eradicate world hunger, especially not by 2030. So what this paper suggests is that CRISPR as a technology, whether that's Cas, whether that's multi-genome editing, whether that is prime editors, which we'll take a look, CRISPR as a general can achieve that goal, allow to accelerate to achieve that goal, right, to eliminate world hunger. And in this review, we consider technology as potential tool to achieving zero hunger. We provide a comprehensive overview of Cas technology and its important application for food crops improvement. We also compare the potential technology breakthrough that will help in breeding future crops, ending world hunger. We hope that the CRISPR-Cas9 will accelerate breeding of improved crop cultivars compared to conventional breeding as a pave the way towards zero hunger goal, right? So you guys know the goal of this channel, guys. I've already mentioned this in the past. It's always been about eliminating world hunger, eliminating human diseases, eliminating animal, livestock, all sorts of diseases. I really want to do this in this channel. I've already said that, as we head in with this channel with a monetization from the YouTube monetization program, I want to reinvest all of that in genomics companies and CRISPR companies and allow you guys to participate in that progress, so that we all as a community, as we're growing, we feel forward, we feel as we're advancing humanity forward. It's amazing to have these technologies, right? It's amazing to have these beautiful papers, but we have to get practical, okay? There are companies out there that are tackling this problem. whether that's human diseases, whether that's world hunger. World hunger, Caribou Biosciences, I've already said it, they own patents over it. They have already licensed the technologies to companies like Genos. Obviously, it's a smaller portion of their business, but a lot of people on this channel expect Caribou Biosciences, for example, to move forward with livestock and agriculture. So really, as an introduction to plant breeding, that paper really starts out saying that there's a world population that will rise to 8.5 billion by 2030, and you're going to need basically a food demand of 11.6 billion tons. If these trends continue, you're going to have a hunger that could surpass 840 million by 2030. So basically, the way things are going, you'll still have people in with food hunger. In fact, almost a billion people. At that point, I would consider that a billion people by 2030. That is crazy, guys. I can't even fathom that number, right? Canada, we're like not even 40 million citizens, right? US is not even 400 million citizens. I know. Yeah, China and India are well above a billion, but Pakistan is like 250 million, right? There's so many countries there that are well below that number. So I can't even fathom that huge number, right? 840 million. It's crazy, right? Let's take a look here as we move forward. Human efforts. So yeah, there have been human efforts. It's not like humanity has done nothing about it. There's been many foundations, many governments, many authorities that have done efforts into it, including individuals like Bill Gates. I know Bill Gates with his foundation has done so much work in this field, but it's gonna take a lot more than just one individual, one company, one foundation, one country. This is gonna need a collective effort from all developed nations, from all public companies. I strongly believe this is a duty we all have, right? And now I understand, we live in this society where there's individualism. I want to do well for myself so that I can take care of the people around me. And the philosophy is that if you can take care of yourself, you can take care of people around you. And I completely agree with this. But at the same time, I think we have a duty for the people outside our borders, right? Outside our reach, right? It just doesn't have to limit to friends and families, right? It can limit, and it can be unlimited. It doesn't have to limit to people inside our borders, inside our communities. And I understand we pay our taxes and we want to make sure the people in our borders are taken care of before our own borders can take off other people. I completely understand that. There's many issues in our world. World hunger is just one of the many, but it is a serious issue. It is a big issue. And I think you have to pick your mission in life. I'm not saying what you should do. I'm not saying what you should invest your money in. I'm not saying what you should focus your life's mission on. But in my channel, what we believe in this channel, especially with people around me and myself at least, is that I and the people around me, like I said, believe that world hunger should be eradicated, and CRISPR can be a tool to accelerate that mission, right? It always starts with a vision, always starts with a mission. And I strongly believe it can happen, right? So clearly you can see some graphs here. Again, when you put things in perspective, you look at the current healthy people, you think undernourished, you have all sorts of diseases, people that can't even develop properly, the people obviously their lifespan is reduced. And obviously we all have our eyes on Africa, but it doesn't end with Africa, right? It can be North America. We have many Canadians living with food shortages, with families that are, not even, nourished properly. You have these people, and this goes beyond just like eating food, right? It becomes healthy food, healthy people, right? You have people eating junk food, people just eating scrappy food because they don't have money to afford for it. And then it goes back to what I told you guys in the last video, inflation, right? It's a serious topic, and that's what I meant. Like, CRISPR is a tool. CRISPR alone will not allow you to fix that problem alone, right? You need other tools like Bitcoin. I strongly believe that. Inflation, it attacks inflation, it attacks governments' inability and corruption, and a hedge against inability to handle money, what it means money to sort of sustain processes and entities in a system, right? In a complex system where inflation can happen when you print unlimited money, when you don't really plan and respect your budget, and when you have corruption, and you need that hedge against corruption, against human greed. And that's where Bitcoin comes into play. But I will definitely not enter in that rabbit hole. I just want to stick with this paper here. So beautiful graphs here. Total world food hungry, guys. You can see total food shortage, this is a serious thing, but we have come from a serious progress, right? In 2002, look at that, right? Total world production has increased, but food demand, look at this, right? The shortage is still there. Food shortage is still there. Undernourished people are still there, right? Yes, it is decreasing. I completely agree with you. But, as 2030, we accelerate the population, especially with what happened post-pandemic, and obviously in what's going on in Africa, you're going to have a lot more total food shortage, right? And I strongly believe this is a serious issue. This is not something you should be taking lightly as. And, I think it always starts with the missions, always starts with vision. I always go back with that. You don't have to understand this technology, CRISPR as a whole. We talk about Cas9, we talk about base editors, we talk about prime editors, first gen, second gen, third gen. You can, go in that rabbit hole and start comparing those technologies for you can virtual signal that throughout the world on Twitter, on Reddit. But the reality of things is the real beneficiaries of all these technologies are people, are patients, are people that are living under these dire needs to have these technologies in their plates, on their tables, or that whether that's on their food, whether that's on their human diseases, whether that's for their animals. It doesn't matter, right? And of course, we haven't even talked about the environment, right? We talked about one of the applications for CRISPR, how it can reduce global emissions, right? But again, another topic for another day. Let's just stick with this paper for now. Clearly, you can see, pre-genome editing era and all the way today with prime editors in 2020, we've come a long way. We come with Talon, CRISPR-Cas9, base editors, different Cas cuts, Cas13. We've seen this with Mammal Biosciences. We've seen it now with Caribou Biosciences, specifically focusing on Chardonnay's rDNA. And then you have, this all this progress, right? Look at it's a just beautifully written here. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit. That's too much, but anyways, you can clearly see here that as we increase this technology, what we can do is we can increase grain quality, right? And we can increase these ability for these agriculture livestock to be able to resist to diseases, so that they can have a longer lifespan, so that they can get to people, right? They can get to people bellies, right? They can reduce that food shortage, right? That's the goal here, right? You can clearly see the hungry people here. As you use these technologies, you can knock out undesired genes, right? Undesired genes that make better quality of food, and they make them last longer, and they make them more resistant to diseases, to viruses, to bacteria. That can reduce their quality, reduce their lifespan, and basically eradicate them from existence. You can allow that CRISPR technology to knock out those bad genes and basically have that Darwinianism quality of life, right? The strongest fittest, right? That's the fittest is strongest, right? Where you can allow the strongest agriculture to survive, and that becomes a compounding effect, right? If you guys follow biology, genes, the good genes get passed on, but if you have bad genes, they also get passed on. So it can knock them out, especially in the livestock era. In the agriculture section, you can definitely do that, right? So I really like some of those graphs here. Again, I will link in the paper below, and I will let you guys know. It does get technical, so I do warn you guys. But again, I know some of you are very, very technical. You guys are researchers, scientists, doctors that watch this channel, so I'm very grateful, and that's exactly why I am posting this type of paper. Genome editing is critical for high-yielding, high-quality, climate-resilient, and eco-friendly agriculture. In this section, we review CRISPR-Cas application, increasing crop yields, overcoming issues with malnutrition. We argue that the safe deployment of CRISPR-Cas9 technology crop improvement can help scientists develop climate-smart crop varieties, paving the way towards the fulfillment of zero hunger from the UN, right? United Nations. So they really go into the argument here, and I am going to skim over this. I definitely don't want to go in that. That was not the goal of this video anyways, but clearly you can see there's a pay for it, there's a pathway for it. There's these researchers that got together. You're not going to write these research papers just for funding. This is not, this is another type of issue, right? There is no, I think a lot of people get sort of, focused with like the technology, and they sort of miss out on the big picture, right? And I think this channel really allows, at least the feedback I got, it allows people to sort of center back in the mission, in the vision, in the mission. And I think with that mission, that vision, it can give you as an investor a better perspective as to where we are heading as a human species and where we can shift towards. And then you can make specific calls, specific prediction calls. Again, not financial advice, but you can make specific calls for your investments to grow, right? To grow because you were able to see those predictive pathways, right? Where we're heading towards human species, right? Again, you never know what can happen, right? Next year, you could have a crazy technology. But again, you do have a crazy technology in front of you. CRISPR is that technology, right? This is what I'm sort of mind blown by. It's like human as a breed, we're always looking for the next thing, right? And it's crazy because the next thing is here, right? You talk about Tesla, electrical vehicles. You know, you have all these dirty oil cars, oil companies that are pumping out vehicles like no tomorrow. And then you have Tesla's electrical vehicles coming out. And then you have people looking for the next technology like hydrogen cars, right? From Nikola, whatever. And then you have these electrical batteries, revolutionary batteries that are going to change the world made from another company like QuantumScape. And I truly believe that will happen. But look, guys, we have to live in the present, and this is the technology right now in the labs. So many academic papers on it, including this one. And I just find it a shame that a lot of people sort of miss out on that big picture. They don't get to live that present moment to make concrete actions to change the world right now up until 2030, for example, to eliminate world hunger. Clearly, you can see one of the biggest hurdle with CRISPR right now is regulation, right? I've talked about it, and you can see here, when you talk about GMO products, you know, you have all sorts of processes, all sorts of regulation, all sorts of layers, right? And I strongly believe in the next years, I think the biggest disruptor here in US alone specifically will be, and not just in US, in Health Canada, for example, Health Canada opening up to type 1 diabetes with CRISPR Therapeutics and Viasat was just crazy good, right? Underrated news. Obviously, the markets didn't react to that. Markets have been down, but the idea that the regulators will open up to CRISPR and just technologies around it as we move away from the pandemic. We move towards a society where health is no longer just a commodity. Health is no longer just a second thought. It's not just sitting in the back seat. Health is going to be in the front seat. In fact, it will be in the driving seat. We want to increase lifespan. We want to increase the quality of life of people, not just in Canada, US, Europe, Australia, China, these developed nations, but also in less developed nations. As we move towards a world where we become more connected and we sort of see what the realities of the world with social media, with open networks there, we can see people sharing content, we see people, we see numbers, we see statistics. We don't let legacy media control narratives anymore. This idea of regulators putting, blockers on this technology, I truly believe will be taken away by 2022, end of 2022, 2023, as we move towards the first CRISPR drug approved by the FDA. We believe with CRISPR Therapeutics, CTX001 with Vertex for sickle cell disease, beta thalassemia, I think it will just open up. It will open up so many opportunities. And I strongly believe all these, naysayers about CRISPR, about I think this will shift away. Okay, I see some parallels with the early days of the internet. I see some parallels with the early days of technology. I do want to remind our viewers when electricity was developed in the early days, right? I don't know if I can find this right. Electricity cartoon. I think maybe I can find this. Yeah, it's here. Look at this, guys. I just found it. This was propaganda poster, right? I don't know if let's take a look here. If I can just put up here. This was a propaganda poster, and I will end this video like this with this. Is you had these anti-electricity cartoons from the early 20th century. Now today, electricity is like, we can't even live without it. We can't even fathom without it, right? For me, if I lose electricity, I freak out, and so do you, right? And not just electricity, but energy, right? For your laptop, computer, for your stoves, for your washer, dryer, whatever it is, right? But there was a time in human history where electricity was seen as this, what you're seeing here in the screen. And there were regulators that were considering, banning this technology, right? They were fearing from this propaganda from legacy media pulling this out to people. And the same is being done with CRISPR, right? These ethics conversations with these moral discussions. And we saw what happened with China with that scientist a few years ago. We saw that. But trust me, this will continue happening until the people revolt against it, until it is crystal clear. So many other research papers, so many companies come out from the woodworks, and you see results, data, numbers do not lie. And like this here, this paper suggesting, the advantage well overweigh the disadvantage of CRISPR when it comes to food shortage, when it comes to eliminating world hunger. We can achieve that goal. We can knock out bad genes on those crops. And regulators, to me, I don't think they will be putting additional blockers as we move forward in this decade. So many opportunities. I'm very excited to see. This is the channel's mission, guys. Eradicating world hunger. This has always been that. If you watch our previous videos, you will see me say exactly that sentence. Eradicating world hunger. And this paper is just mind-boggling here. I love it. I'm going to keep going over it. I'm going to keep my eyes on it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will end this video like this. I think by 2030, just like this paper suggests, CRISPR will end world hunger with, of course, other technologies, but CRISPR will end world hunger. And this is my life's mission. This is the channel's mission. And the buck stops with me now. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. We will make a video tomorrow, just as the usual. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.